It's Wednesday, July 23rd. So as you know, I never seen you back the bow before, and my only resources are YouTube. So guys backed them with type on. So I had leg sinew on a little 58-inch bow that, leg sinew is smaller, a lot of strands, so you wind up laying a little thicker. I soaked it in the type bond with the water, put it in the type bond, laid it on, and guys on these videos are saying that in 2 months you can shoot it. In a little over a month you could shoot it actually. So I said, okay, let me just take it out, and it was tilled before. I should be able to get a string on it without putting a long string on and retillering it quick. I should just be able to get a string on it. So I went out in the back and I went to put a string on it, and it was so hard, so heavy. After I fire hardened it because I believe the moisture was trapped in it. And so I fire hardened it. I had nothing to lose. I know I was watching the sinew. I didn't want to burn the sinew. I just wanted to remove moisture by cooking it. Okay, guys put sinew bows in heat boxes. They put them in a heat box for a week. Okay, with the type on. So I fire hardened it, and it took me a while because I didn't have it super low. And what happened was the moisture came out and created such a strong back with all those fibers. It was like, I guess, putting another layer of wood on. So I said, well, it was tilled. It should be able to handle putting a string on. Just putting a string on and then looking at the brace height and retiller it. So I had to use a stringer. So I put the stringer on, pop it on, and I could see, it was a little off. And I held it up and it blew apart. Well, you put it on, you put one of these things. I put one of these, my adventures, experimentations on these, these Boya sites, these torque sites, these self bow sites. And you know how they are. Everybody's got an opinion. Oh my God, it wasn't the sinew, it wasn't the glue, it's the tiller, it's this, it's that, it's the other thing. My question was, when I posted this on the forum, was, has anybody had any problems when they put the type bond on and let it dry? Did anybody have any problems with moisture being retained? Because that little bow was 35 pounds. You saw it on my chronograph video. 35 pounds. Now that I fire hardened it, and fire hardening don't increase it that much weight. It don't increase it 30 pounds, okay? So somebody said that too. All right? So, but drying it with all those layers, it was like a 60-pound bow. I didn't get a chance to really look at it. I figured it could handle, bad tiller or whatever. It could handle a string because it was retilled. All right? Well, I was wrong. I put the string on, looked at it, it blew apart, okay? I wound up deleting it from these, self bow sites, because of all the nonsense. But the bottom line is, I had the 60-inch now. The 60-inch was made with elk backstrack sinew, which was longer. And I put a nice coat on, a nice coat. It wasn't really layered up because I didn't have a lot of little leg sinew, like deer hide little leg sinews that I built up very heavy. Okay, so this morning I came out here and I put a long string on and tilled it, and it was ever so slightly off. So now we got a perfect tiller again, and we're going to see what kind of weight it is on this bow here. And I pulled it down to my draw length and it didn't break, okay? So all these guys that were, what are you doing? You don't know what you're doing. Yeah, of course I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just experimenting, trying it, all right? And it was one or two guys that commented, all right? Now I know a few of them are professional bowyers. But one or two of them, I looked on their profile, I don't even think they made a bow, but they had something to say. You know how you have keyboard warriors? I guess you have keyboard bowyers too, a couple of them, all right? So anyway, there's nothing wrong. I'm going to tell you out there, if you're starting, I don't care what anybody says. There's nothing wrong with experimenting. There's nothing wrong with trying the new things out. What's the worst? You're going to break a bow or stave while you're learning? Knowledge is something that you learn by. You learn by your mistakes. It isn't like we're a computer and we could download an app and, oh, there it is in my head. I know exactly what to do, right? You want to improve. You want to try things. Experiment, all right? They said you couldn't make bows. You know, they didn't make bows out of sassafras. I made a bow out of sassafras. I had a couple that broke. Another one was holly with knots and all. I made a bow out of holly. I had one break. You know, you try. Who cares? Who cares? But everybody's got opinion like, oh, you did that wrong. Oh, you broke some cardinal rule. Oh, you created some horrible sin. You know what I mean? You know what? I don't care. All right. I'm being nice by saying I don't care, but you know, I really don't care. All right. I'm sharing what I'm doing. Maybe it'll help somebody. Maybe somebody will shake their head and say, why is he doing that? Well, why am I doing that? Because I don't have the experience. I never did it before, but I got experience now. So anyway, let's get back to this. Okay. The 60-inch one that was Type-On. All right. This was another one that was flimsy. It felt like it had water in it. This one was cooked. All right. I fire hardened this one too. And again, I paid attention. And the goal was just to, whatever you want to call it, steam, boil, bake, cook out the moisture, because, you know, people with the Type-On, it's a new thing, the Type-On. I used Type-On years ago on, you know, when I first started on rawhide. There's nothing wrong with it. I put rawhide, I put the Type-On down on the bow, like a board bow. I let it drink up the Type-On, and then I put the rawhide down on top of that. And the next day you're able to trim it and shoot it, and it's itinerant, it's fine, you know what I mean? But this is a different animal, the sinew. The sinew, when it dries, actually will stretch, and the sinew is actually a working thing, part of the bow. So I have another one that's 58 inches that has hide glue on it, and it has elk backstrap sinew, and that's sitting up. That's going to stay a few months, and that one's going to be good. And then somebody said, oh, there's no difference between Type-On and hide glue. Well, yeah, there is. There is, and I'm going to say there is. I don't care if you're an expert or what. Because the hide glue, you could get it wet and it'll activate again. As the sinew's drying with hide glue, the moisture can go both ways, out of it, in it, because it's not waterproof. It's not a waterproof. You're not sealing it. So there is a difference between hide glue, in my opinion. And what's my opinion? Who cares? I'm new. But my opinion is, yeah, hide glue is the better option for sinew backing, okay? So my question was, I posted it. Anybody have problems? Anybody retain moisture? Anybody notice any bad things using Type-On? Because it's only been going on for a little bit, you know. Nobody would answer the question. They just wanted to bash you and say, what are you doing? Oh, you know, or you didn't let it cure long enough. I'm going by the other videos and learning, okay? So enough of my rant, all right? Enough of my rant. But a lot of these sites there, instead of them being supportive or helping or asking a suggestion, they want to make it sound like you're an idiot, okay? And you don't know what you're doing, instead of saying, well, next time try this. Okay, there's no support in these things there, man. And then, you know, like keyboard warriors, you know, some guys, you know, when you get into the thing, oh, I'll come over, I'll kick your ass, and they're a little nerd sitting behind a chair. Some of these guys never made a bow before. Some of the guys never sinewed a bow before. But everybody's got, they're like parrots. They listen to something on the internet and they repeat it, okay? Me, I try it on my own and see if it's true or not. And that's the best way to approach anything in life. Don't take anybody's word for anything. Try it yourself, okay? So, let's see. I have it tilted. I pulled it down. I measured it all the way down to my draw length. Okay, let's see what kind of weight. I forget what this one was, but it wasn't a lot of weight. But it's got a lot of weight now. And I'm going to pull it down to my 26.5-inch draw length, because I have it tilted down to that, okay? Don't go by the lines on the house and the limbs, because the post isn't glued in and it's not aligned. I'm going by a flat riser up on top with this pole here the best I can. Beautiful. 45 pounds at 26.5 inches, okay? That's what I wanted. That's what I got, okay? Let me see if you could check out the profile here. Okay? I got a bow. We're going to shoot it later. We're going to chronograph later. All I'm trying to say to everybody is do whatever you got to do. Try, experiment. Don't worry about the criticism, okay? You'll learn by your own mistakes. And that's the best way to approach things, okay? And can heat ruin sinew? Yeah, but once again, excessive heat can, but once again, you see the videos, they take these sinew bows, they throw them in these hot boxes for a freaking week. I took 2 hours to remove moisture just to see. I believe there was moisture trapped in here after the bow was sitting up for a month. I believe there was moisture, and it proved to be true. There was moisture. That's all I wanted to prove. The bow blew apart? Yeah, who cares? All right? Keep on making bows. If they break, they break. If they don't come out that way, they don't come out that way. Don't be afraid, like I do, to post mistakes, your learning experiences, because somebody is going to watch this and say, huh, that's interesting. All right, maybe you saved me a couple of $100 worth of sinew and glue. All right, I'll just use the hide glue and we'll make a bow and wait the appropriate 6 months or whatever it takes, 6 months to a year. Okay, but I got a shootable bow now. I do. I pulled it back a bunch of times. It's 60 inches at my draw length, okay? And the shortest bow that's unbacked that I use is 62. So we'll see the speed. If you know, if and speed don't kill, all right? Because I had a little 120 feet per second short 46-inch herders that I killed a lot of deer with. But we're going to just check it out on a chronograph later and see what the speed is, okay? And look, does it look burnt to you? Did I damage it? This is the same way the other one looked, okay? I'm not recommending doing it. I'm not recommending at all. I would say do not fire harden a bow with sinew on it. But I took my time. I looked. I kept the distance. It was just an experiment to see how much moisture was in. And let me tell you, there was a lot trapped, okay? There's a lot of moisture trapped inside those layers of sinew, okay? So if you're an expert and I'm doing it wrong and all, well, I don't have your knowledge. I'm experimenting. I'll learn as I go. And I'm happy with my experiments. And I'm happy to share my experience with everybody else. And that's it. Have a good day. Okay, I'm going to just check the speed on that 60-inch sinew back bow that I tillered this morning. And just to see what it is, what kind of speed I get out of that. I believe it's 45 pounds. I'm going to pull it back to my draw weight to see the pounds. And I made this bow too. I made this bow, and we really can't compare the two. This one is a 62-inch bow. It's going to be probably my 3D bow. It should be around 37 pounds is what I like for a 3D weight. So let's check it out. I'm just going to test it because I just made it and I have the chronograph out. So let's see what we got here. Okay, it's 36 pounds. Okay, 36 pounds. And that's the weight I like for 3D, 36, 37 pounds. Now let's get this sinew bow we've been talking about. This is my getting bashed sinew back bow that I have tilled. Let's see what the weight is on the pullback when I go to my anchor here. $44.25 pounds. Okay, so this is a 44-pound perfect hunting weight bow. Let me put on my shooting tab, set the chrono, and we're going to see what this reads. I'm going to start with the lighter hunter arrows. See, do I have the knock set? Let me see what the knock looks like on this here. I just threw the string on today to tiller it. Let's put it on. Okay, let's see what kind of speed we get out of this with the lighter arrow. 140, okay, 140 feet per second. It's not a speed demon, but it's a acceptable hunting bow. Kill deer with this all day long. Okay. Oh, gee, what do you think? Oh, look. Oh, the bow's not. Oh, look at the sinew. It's not ruined. It's good. We got the legacy here, a little heavier, and the other one was 140. I'm guessing this one's probably going to be 136. Let's see. 132. Lower than I thought. Let's put another heavier legacy down here. 136. Okay, and like I said in my other prior videos, that feet per second don't kill. It's shot placement, shot placement, shot placement. I had an old Herder's 46-inch bow that was like 45 pounds and 45, 47 pounds, and I killed a lot of does with it. And registered through the chronograph 125 feet per second. So it's shot placement, shot placement, shot placement. And one good thing about these self bows is they're quiet. Okay, now just for the heck of it, I'm going to shoot the 500 spine Hunter out of this 3D bow. See what kind of feet per second we can get. .138. So actually, you know, this fire hardened, unbacked, beautiful grain. Look at this hickory bow. It's kicking it out pretty fast. .136. Okay, so now we had our readings. I just had to shoot that bow through the chronograph. And why did I make a sinew back bow? Because I never did before. Okay, the only reason I never did before. And I'm not going to make a little 30-inch. I'm not going to make a little 30, 35-inch bow and short draw and look down the arrow and let it fling. I don't see any enjoyment to that. I want to be able to come back. I want to be able to put it on my anchor point. I want to be able to release. I want to hit the target. And if it's heavy enough, I want to take it hunting. And if it wasn't heavy enough, it would be a 3D bow. But it's my experiment. The experiment is almost over. I have another 58-inch bow that's, you saw on the video, is going to dry for 6 months. I used the elk backstrap sinew. It was nice and long. I kind of prefer that over the short little pieces that stack up and build up on the deer leg sinew, but you know, I'm just beginning. And that's the end of this video. And all I have to say, if you're like me, and I've only been doing this for 1.5 years, somebody gave me a hunk of wood and a draw knife and some quick directions, and I started and I got addicted to making bows. Don't be discouraged. All right, watch, if you post stuff on the forums, you're going to get, instead of, and you ask a question, you're going to get more negativity than anybody actually answering a question that you have there a lot of times. Okay, so just press on, keep making bows. They break. Okay, it's a learning experience. Nobody has instant knowledge. It's going to be acquired. And sometimes these YouTube videos, right, you know, that, like how I learned how to sinew back with type on and different things, have information that is contradictory. So that's why I tried it on my own. And I showed you my results. Okay. Type on, I believe, is absolutely great for rawhide. I used it before. It makes the rawhide adhere. But when you have sinew, and sinew is a stretchable, workable ligament, okay, I believe you should use, You'd probably be better off using the hide glue because it's not waterproof. And as it's drying and you have it wrapped, moisture can escape through the back or the belly, through the bow or out the back of the, where the wrap is, where you have your wrap. That's just my opinion, okay? And as far as the heat goes and that bow, I think it's going to last because, like I said, I've seen guys put Sinew back bows in heat boxes and stuff and cook them. So I didn't cook it. There's no flames on that. I was very careful. I sat there. I monitored it the whole time. It dried it out. And the other bow that blew apart, I guess I rushed it a little. I figured it could handle having a string put on, okay? And then I could check the tiller, but that wasn't the case. I put the string on and it blew apart. You have to, if you sinew back a bow, I'm going to tell you to long string tiller it again, like I did with that one, and get it tillered properly again from the beginning because you're changing the structure of the bow, okay? So I learned. I'm happy with my results, and keep on making bows. Don't let anybody discourage you. Every day you wake up is a great day. Make a bow. Try something new, okay? And don't get discouraged if you post something and get a lot of negative stuff. You're learning, okay? Every once in a while in that bunch of negative stuff, somebody will give you a good idea or they'll explain something to you that'll send you on a better path, okay? Thanks for watching.